Hey everyone, this is my first video ever on this channel. My name is Madden, and I love to talk about movies and critique them. I've done it pretty much my whole teenage to adult life, and I figured I'd start a little channel and review things. So I decided to have the Odyssey be my first review. I went to the opening day showing, IMAX, and it is past 1 in the morning, but I want to record this fresh as I see it, and I also want to get it out as fast as I can. So this is going to be a spoiler-free review, so don't worry about any spoilers. Yeah, let me just get into it. So I want to start out by saying that this movie definitely lived up to the hype. It was everything that I wanted it to be from a Christopher Nolan movie about an epic fantasy. I had a great time. I'm gonna give the movie a 9 out of 10. I have small nitpicks that I guess I'll get those out the way first, and then I can just talk about a lot of the good stuff. But the first nitpick that I have is that it does drag a little bit. It is like a 3-hour movie, and I don't think it necessarily needed to be. There is in the middle section, it does drag a little bit, and I honestly thought that some of those scenes could have been deleted in the middle section, and it would have made it much smoother, run much faster, and I think it would have made the overall story hit a little harder. So I'm taking off half a point for that, and then I'm going to take off half a point because all throughout the movie there is basically two main storylines, two main plot lines. And at the beginning, it makes it seem like we're gonna be looking at both these plot lines evenly. And one of the plot lines gets so much, like I wouldn't say like 90% of the screen time compared to the other. And I was just as interested in the other plot line as I was the sort of main plot line. And it ended up meaning that a lot of characters weren't in the movie as much as I would have liked to have seen them, whereas they didn't get as much maybe character development, character growth as the characters in the other side of the on the other plot line did. So I think that alone, I almost took off more points, but the ending is so good in this movie that it gained it back. But before I get to that, let me finish my point. That so one of the main characters of the movie does get sidelined because one of the plot lines takes such precedence over the other. So I'm taking half a point off for that, and I would have taken off more. So I was sitting at about an 8.5 or an 8. But the ending to this movie is so good and satisfying that it rectified a lot of the problems I had with it, and it brought me up to a 9. Yeah, so main two issues are that it's a little too long, like it does drag. Like there's some parts where I was like, okay, it's kind of repeating. You're repeating yourself a little bit. And then some characters do get sidelined because they do focus on one plot line more than the other. Okay, now let's talk about the good. This movie is epic. The way it looks, because it's all shot in IMAX, is wonderful. The sound design is wonderful. It's loud. It's in your face. When they're in a storm, you're in the storm with them. It's beautiful to look at. It really is wonderful. Now I did say it dragged a little bit, but that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that the scenes that I thought shouldn't have been in there weren't entertaining in and of themselves. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of just crazy stuff happening throughout the whole movie. Some of those scenes I think that maybe were redundant to the plot and the overall smooth pacing of the movie, but standalones, they're still really entertaining. I'm trying to avoid all kinds of spoilers, but I'll only say standout performances. Matt Damon did amazing as Odysseus. I think they did a really good job of making me care about Odysseus. And one thing that I really like they did with Odysseus is that he's a great protagonist that you can root for. He's cool, and he's a good guy in a sense. But they also don't make him a perfect, like, Captain America guy. He has a lot of flaws, and those flaws do have real consequences, and they drive the plot along, and they lead to him changing as a character. So when we get to the end, he has such great character growth and moments that it's so satisfying. And I will say, I did like Tom Holland's character a lot as well. I don't know if that's just because I like him as an actor, but his character was really good. Anne Hathaway had a really good performance. Those are the main three standouts for me. Oh, I like Robert Pattinson was really good as well in this movie. I'm not gonna really say what they did, but they were the standout performances. I will say another thing that was really well done for me was just how epic it was. Like, I really like it. The scope and scale of everything that's happening is so epic that you kind of get excited just watching it, and it had my jaw dropping at certain points. There are scenes that are kind of gross. There are scenes that are just like, yes! And when a movie gets me at its part where I'm going, yes! It's a good movie. And I say, like, it really shocked me how much the ending made up for the nitpicks I had at it in the middle. I was ready to give it like an 8. But the ending is so epic, so satisfying, and just cool, and really solidifies the character journey they take Odysseus on. I think that the action set pieces are really good. The fantastical parts are amazing. I can tell a lot of it was practical effects. There was not a single point in the movie where I was like, that doesn't look real. In fact, there were some scenes where I was like, that looks too real, and it's really grossing me out. It was just really cool. One thing I also liked is that I kind of was expecting I found myself wanting and expecting a giant battle at the end. And I kind of sensed that it wasn't going there after a while, and I was kind of disappointed. And then when they showed me what I got instead of the big battle, I was very satisfied by that. It subverted my expectations in that sense. So rounding it out, just to end my sort of thoughts here, I will say that if you like Christopher Nolan, if you like epic, long movies that take you on a journey with characters and crazy set pieces, and they tell a story that has a deeper meaning. There is deep meaning to the story. I can't get into it without spoiling it, but it's just about Odysseus and the choices he makes and the consequences that they have and stuff like that. If you like that kind of a movie, like a fantasy movie that isn't just about fantasy things happening for fantasy's sake, but it's driven by the characters and by the story, and it's epic and long, and if you want that, you'll love this movie. Now, if you're not a fan of long movies, if you're not a fan of substance over style, and you want more just straight up action the entire time. Now, I said there's a lot of action, meaning like there's exhilarating, like it gets you on the edge of your seat. But I mean, there's not, it's not driven by just fighting the whole time. So there's a lot of dialogue, and it has heavy themes. So if you want more of just like an entertaining movie that doesn't really have like a deeper meaning, that's not really for you. And if you can't take a long movie, it's not really for you. I mean, so I think that's all the main things that I can really say about the Odyssey without spoiling it. So I would just ask if y'all could please leave a like and subscribe. I want to start doing this consistently, and I want to build a little following and just have some fun with it. But again, I'll say Odyssey is a 9 out of 10, and I would recommend it to anybody who is excited for it. It lived up to the hype. All right, have a good one.